Hello, hello. Gonna give everybody a couple of seconds. Hello, hello. Give everybody a couple of seconds to come in. Excited. Hello, hello, everyone. Just give one a couple of minutes. Show up. Hello. Brale? Make sure I'm pronouncing it right. You let me know. Great. So I can start, or you want me to wait a couple more minutes? I'll leave it totally up to you. Okay. Give it a couple more minutes, and then maybe about a minute. It's 7:02, and then we'll get started from there. The beauty of technology. Make sure you guys can see me. Okay. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First and foremost, again, I'm so excited to be here, and thank you for inviting me to be a speaker on your platform. I definitely appreciate that, and I don't take it lightly at all. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Uche Anye Maple, and I am the founder of Women Helping Women Succeed in STEM, and I'm also a systems engineering manager at Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab. Now, I'm from Texas, so I got my undergrad in mechanical engineering from Prairie View A&M. Go Panthers! And and I got my MBA in technology management and my master's in systems engineering from Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab. So for me, I've been in engineering for the last 20 years, and I love it. It has just been such a great career for me. I started at Raytheon Missile Systems working on the production floor. And because I was asking so many questions about why this missile was being built the way it was being built, one of my leaders said, hey, you need to go into systems engineering. And once I went into systems engineering, I fell in love and totally changed my career trajectory that I had even seen for myself. So I was in love with engineering and with systems at that point. And you know what's interesting for me on on this presentation of turning obstacles into opportunities. There was a time in my life where I was working on a project and I was coming in every day at 4 a.m. every morning, leaving around 6 to 7 o'clock at night, and working a lot of hours, and I was getting burnt out, and I was feeling very unappreciative. And on the program I was working on, I had a hard deliverable that we needed to meet, and we were successful. We met it. But what was interesting is over the course of that time of product development, which was about 3 years, I was ready to take the next step in my career and to gain more leadership opportunities and to really have more ownership on more level of responsibility. But at that time, and we know how, and if anyone can relate to me, please raise your hand, where when you're so great at your job, they want you to stay in that role for the next program, but you're ready to grow and to stretch and to gain more responsibilities. So because of that, I went into a season of being not feeling valued and not feeling worthy. And I had to go and seek counsel from people that I trusted, that were experts in that field, on how to help me push my career, because I realized that I was at a standpoint in my career, and that if I stayed where I wasn't going to move where I wanted to be. So I enrolled, and I took the initiative to find places or courses that was going to help me accelerate, or help me to gain more knowledge and information on what I need to do next. I enrolled in a course at the local university called Leadership Essentials, and with there they assigned me a leadership coach, and this is a six-month program. And through that entire 6 months, I was able to paint a picture of where I wanted to be and where I needed to go. And this took a course of over a year of me growing, maturing, and working on myself, and really figuring out, how can I move my career forward? Who do I need to talk to? How do I need to network? How do I plant seeds? How do I persevere? How do I keep going when I'm running on empty? Right? So over the course of 12 months, I worked on myself with my career coach. And after that, I got the position that I never would have gotten. I was able to get an increase of 30% of what I was currently making, and the bonuses were my obstacles into opportunities. And I really want to make sure that I share that with each one of you, so that you will be armed with knowledge and information on anything that is standing in your way of achieving where you're trying to go in life, in your career, in self-care, in anything that you want to do. My job here today is to make sure that I am delivering that information. So to me, you are the experts, and you let me know if this information is helpful. And what I want to make sure is that to the person who's engaged the most, you will receive a free PDF of my online course on how to elevate your career. So make sure you stay engaged. So again, this is an engaging session. I don't want to just speak to you. I want to interact to you. And at any point where you have any comments or any questions, please feel free. I will be answering in real time. And I also have activities. So when one thing that I like to do with the audience is to say yes, yes. And if you guys can just type in yes, yes, and that lets me know that you are engaged and that we're on the same page. Yes, yes. Type in yes, yes. Come on. Yes, yes. All right, guys, I need you to type in yes, yes, so I know that you're engaged. I know that you're here. Come on, Barlade, I'm going to call you out. Yes, yes. Okay, so make sure that as we move forward that you have pen and paper. I want to make sure that you are writing down these key discussion points that we'll be talking about. So the three things that I want to make sure that each one of you focus on is what it means to plant seeds. I'm going to be giving you a formula for success and what it means to create opportunities. And after this, I can put this in the comment field as well in case you guys miss it. But the first thing is planting seeds, the formula for success, and creating opportunities. Those are the main three. I have other topics of discussion that we'll be talking about. Thank you, Nakia. Yes, yes. But I want to make sure that those are the 3 points that you definitely take away from this. All right. Yes, yes. So the first thing is on what it means to turn obstacle into opportunities that we really want to make sure we think about is what does it mean to plant seeds? You know, planting seeds simply means that what do you want people to know you for? Because so that they can create opportunities for you. When I decided to take my next step of my career into management, I held one-on-one sessions with my manager and held conversations about my career objective. Now, I was clear, concise, and intentional in what my next step will be. See, we have a tendency to not really have strategic conversations with our managers. And then when we do that, we don't usually develop a plan of attack. How many people can relate to me? Because I was doing that too. I would have great engaging conversations and I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. But I never developed a plan of attack with that. And with planting seeds, you need to do that, right? So you're having your meeting with your manager, you're discussing where you're trying to go, and then you're developing a plan of approach or a plan of attack of how you want to get there. But here's the key. The key is to make sure that it's in alignment with your company's values and mission, right? So how many of us have taken on roles and jobs that were not part of the critical path? Or excuse me, not the fact that they weren't part of the critical path. They were not the critical challenges of what your company was trying to solve. Been there, done that. Yes, I was one of those. And because I did not recognize that I wasn't doing that, I was planting the wrong type of seeds. So for those of you who don't know, here's a great example of what planting seeds are. Carla Harris. How many of you know who Carla Harris is? Yes, yes? Anybody? Okay, so Carla Harris is a vice president, and she has a long title at Morgan Stanley. And in her business, she talks about how you need to be seen in her business. And she says that she remembers she was working a lot of long hours. She was working and she was performing at a high caliber level. But when she would receive feedback and she was trying to get promoted, her leadership told her, you're smart, you work hard, but you're not tough enough for this business. And she realized very quickly that her perception at work was her competitive disadvantage. So for the next 90 days, she decided that she will walk tough, eat tough, drink tough, and talk tough. Now, what does that look like? I just think it's interesting that she was deciding to do this. And she said, you must be consistent. So she did that for 90 days. She was dropping seeds. She was planting seeds on what is she wanted to be known for. You get that? And she did it so well. Because part of her role anyway was to review presentations that got sent out by the CEO. But this time, because she was planting seeds that she was tough, she would say things when her colleagues would come to her and say, can you review this? She'd say, I can, but you know I'm tough. So that was what she was doing. And she did it so well that when a colleague asked her to review the CEO presentation, she finally realized that her acting tough paid off. She said, "Now tell me about this CEO. Does he have thick skin? Because you know I'm tough." And from then on, her coworkers understood that Carla Harris was tough. How many of us can relate to that? Where when we receive feedback on our image or our perception or our brand, and it wasn't what we thought it would be? Yes, yes? Yes? So give me some examples as we're going through this of what are you known for? What do you think you're known for in your area of expertise? When people see you, what brand do you think they'll say about you? Do they say that she's a go-getter, that she's an expert in thermodynamics, that she's an expert in electronic warfare, that she's the best CAD designer that we have, she's the best electrical engineer that we have? If we need to do anything with schematics or anything dealing with our swap, right? Who do we go to? Interfaces? What do people say about you? And if you don't know some of the things that you can do, make sure you write this down. You can do a 360-degree assessment. You can ask your manager, get feedback real time. Or, and we should do this as well, look at your past 3 years performance review. What are the great things they're saying about you consistently? And what are the things that they're saying that you need to improve on? And that is an indication to let you know what your perception is at work. Does it match with what you think you are? Okay? Yes, yes? You guys are a tough crowd today. Look, it's 7 o'clock my time. So that's what it means to plant seeds. And that's the first thing we want to make sure we do when we are trying to turn our obstacles into opportunities, is to begin to plant seeds. You want to make sure that people begin to know you for what you want them to know you as. What brand do they think of when they say your name? So after we've developed our brand and we're beginning to do this, and we understand that we're still working at a high level caliber, one of our first signs that we probably realize that we need to acknowledge is that when we're running on empty, right? You're running on fumes in your life, in your career, your self-care. We have a tendency to quit. I know I have been guilty of this, and I've done this throughout my career, where I was working on something, I was planting seeds, and it just became so hard that I almost quit. Because if we feel as if we have nothing else to give, we may do that. An example of this is if your car is running on fumes. Before your car stops on us, what do? We go to the gas station and we refuel, right? What are your gas stations? Where do you go to refuel? Where do you go? For me, my gas station was my supportive team. They would refuel me through motivation. They will remind me of my demonstrated performance. Demonstrated performance. And they will push me when I thought about quitting. So those are one of the ways I get refueled, is by having a support system. Has there been a time in your life when you needed to get refueled? And if so, what was that? Just write in the comment field, what are some of the things that you did or you wish you would have done when you knew that you were running on empty? Yes, yes? That makes sense? That makes sense, everyone? Yes, yes? Okay. So the first thing we talked about is planting seeds, right? And then we just mentioned what we need to do when we're running on empty because we're performing at such a high level. And then during that time of performance, we will go through this where you're going through a valley. A valley is when you are probably at your lowest point because of things that has happened. And the question is when I'm at my lowest point, how do I get out of that so that I don't stay in there? When we're going through tough times, we have a tendency, we should always seek advice from people who are knowledgeable in that area and not others' opinions. There was a time when I was working on a product and it was just kicking my butt. I was tired, overwhelmed, exhausted, and I felt like my efforts were unappreciative. I learned early in my career to never make a major decision when I'm at my lowest point, because emotions are running high and we're just like, forget this, I can't do this anymore. I learned in my career not to do that. And I'm encouraging you, when you're going through your valley, not to do that. This is what I did go do. And you can write this down. I went and sought guidance from individuals who I trusted. And here's the key: who I trusted and were seen as trusted advisors in my field. How many of us have worked, when you worked with someone that was a trusted source in the company, and when people question you like, oh, where'd you get this information from, or who do you work with? And you said, oh, it was Miss Nina, it was Nakia Brown, it was, and they're like, oh, okay. Their whole demeanor change because they're a trusted source, right? See, we have a tendency and go and ask for guidance from persons who are giving us their opinions and not an expert in the field because of our level of comfort. We're comfortable. We go to certain people all the time. And because of this, our comfortability denies us the access to get the expertise we need to make an informed decision. And it's usually with our personal development. Because I know when it comes to technical answers, we know who to go to, who that person is in the go-to field to go get those technical answers for questions that we need. But when it comes time for personal development, for our own self-care, we go to people we're comfortable with, and they're not necessarily the ones that we need to talk to. So let's stop the cycle today. I'm going to challenge each one of you to take ownership and seek counsel about your career, or things that are giving you heartache, things you can't sleep on, things that's keeping you up all night and awake at night, to get counsel about your career with the experts in your field. Yes, yes. So you're going through the valley and you want to give up. Do we do that? Because to succeed, we must have stickability. Right? We have to. Stickability could be anything. We have to continue to work towards our dream and not quit, even when we feel we have no other choice. This includes, I know for me, I've been through this, a professor not giving you the grade you think you deserve because you spent all night working hard, and then, you're trying to defend your dissertation or your theses, and they're like, oh, I gave you a B instead of an A. Or your manager not giving you the raise that you know that you deserve. Or the praise that you felt you should have received from your team members for doing an excellent job. Not receiving rewards for work accomplished should not negate the work you continue to put forth. Because here's the deal. We talked about this. You're planting seeds. And what brand do you want people to know you as? And the only way that we continue to persevere and continue to have excellence in everything we do is that we must stick through the tough times, because opportunities have a way of presenting themselves when we least expect it. Think about it this way. We're all in pain. We're already frustrated. We've been working overtime. We've been studying late continuously. We might as well get a reward from it. It may not be today. It may not be next week. It may not be this year. But if you quit, however, it is a guarantee you will get nothing. Yes, yes. Stick with it. Because that's, one thing they say is that when you want to become an expert in the area, it takes usually 5 to 7 years. And I have seen in my life, in my career, where people who moved around from career to career, and they became a jack of all trades, which is great, or a Jill of all trades, which is great. But sometimes in our field is that we want to make sure we can go to those experts. And now it's interesting is those experts are engineers who started maybe 10 years ago, and they worked on one particular program, and now they're the experts in that field. We got to stick with it. We don't have the luxury to give up just because we are running into areas that we don't see a clear way to get out. But if we work hard and if we continue to surround ourselves around people who's going to make us better, there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, yes. And as you're sticking with it, right? What I love is, this is what I love because it happened to me, is when you are working on something and you're passionate about it, and when you have that aha moment, I call it the awakening. See, the awakening is the moment you realize you need to change something in your life. It could be the company you keep. It could be the amount of time you're not dedicated to your art, to your craft, to the area of expertise. It could be the fact that you're spending too much time watching TV. I know for me, Hulu, Netflix. But the awakening is vital. It's vital because it sets the stage for what you need to change for what's not working. It is the moment, write this down, it is the moment when you decide to change what you are for what you will become. A golden nugget, mic drop. When I realized this, it gave me chills, because that means that I am now got to be held accountable, because I'm awoke. I've awakened. And now I know what I need to do to change where I need to go. And as hard as it is so rewarding. Because when you begin to shed weight, that's what I call it. You're shedding things that are no longer part of where you're trying to go, right? I remember when I was trying to work out and when I was shedding weight, life became easier. I was able to go up and down the stairs. I was able to not feel tired during the half season, during the half of the day. I had a lot more energy. I was able to do more with my kids. When you begin to shed that weight because you have a goal and it's awakening of what you need to release, it is a moment. And I love when I read it says, when you make that moment to decide to change what you are for what you will become. Don't forget that's the moment. So what I want to do is put in chat the formula for success, and I would like for each one of you to also think about how this applies to you as well. So I'll put that in there. And we all like formulas, right? So this is one thing that I did for myself when I was on my discovery journey, trying to figure out where do I want to go, what passion, where do I see myself, and let me just go over the formula really quickly. So it's P plus T times A equals success. So P is your passion, and I describe it as what would you do if you could do it for free, and that includes engineering. I mean, it was times where I worked on projects where I was just like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go do this. And it was really exciting. T is talent. It's a natural ability of what you have naturally. My ability naturally is to really see the bigger picture. I can connect the dots very easily. So whenever we have a project, I can see the beginning to the end of the steps that we need to do to complete it, right? So that's my natural talent. The association, working with the right people in organization and action, the process of doing something. So I'm just going to, so I want each one of you to write that down. And you know what, it's 18 comments. And here's what's interesting. I can't see 18 comments. I just can't see it. I can only see it. I don't know what's happening, but I can't see all the comments. So thank you guys. It's being said. What I would like for you to do is to really think success for you. You know, what is your passion? What is your talent that you do? What's your natural talent? And some of us could be singing. It could be you're a mathematician, wizard. What type of association you need to work with, and then what action. And let me give you, here's mine. And I'll copy and paste this into the comment field. This is my success formula. So I did this 5 years ago. And you know what's eerie? 2 of them have come true. It's pretty crazy. So for me, my passion is helping people. I feel like I was here on this earth is to be of service to people, is to help solve problems. And that's pretty much why engineering, I think, is a great field for me, is to solve problems that no one else can solve. That's why I love working where I work, and I love the fact that I founded my company, and is to really provide a service and to serve. My talent is leading, being a strategist, managing, a relator, communicator, organizer, and planner. And one of the things that I got, if you guys, have you heard of the Strength Finders? Has anyone heard of those? Okay, so I took the Strength Finder quiz, and it gave me some of these talents that were just naturally within me, and that's where a couple of these are coming from. My association that I realized of where I was trying to go is I needed to meet with CEOs, entrepreneurs, motivational speaker, director, senior level, all of that. And then the action was really to develop a plan of execution. So my formula for me, what success meant, was either being a CEO of my own company, either be an entrepreneur, have a senior level executive position. Yes, I was trying to be executive, senior executive, vice president of whatever. That was my goal. And then motivational speaker and author. So 5 years ago, I didn't have any of those. And where I am today is I am maybe a little bit, I'm founder of my own company. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a motivational speaker, and I have been an author. Eerie, right? Hey, it's power in words. It is power in words and writing things down. Yes, yes. So I hope this can help you, and I hope you use this formula even just as a start trying to figure out where you're trying to go and what does success mean to you. It was just such a great way for me to just think outside of the box versus what we traditionally do is, identify where you're trying to be, identify your job, who do you need what's your plan, what are the roads you're trying to take. This really encompassed, this formula for me and how it worked for me really just encompassed everything that I think is the true essence of Uche. So I'm hoping that you could use it as well, and hopefully it has given you joy like it has given me joy. So as we're doing this, and as I'm going to try to figure out how I can get these comments, we're going to figure this out, I promise. Is as you work on this, hey, please feel free to post what your success is, and so that everyone can see it, and that we know that we are not alone. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. So I love the phrase Yana, and I'm going to put that, and what that means is, and that's what we are, right? We're Yana. You're not alone. So when I say that, that's what that means, is that you are not alone. We are in it together. And please feel free to make sure that you know that, okay? Yana, you're not alone. So as we have developed our plan of success, and one of the things we always talk about is the fact that we plan. And I'm going to put a different spin on that. I'm going to recommend that even though you're planning, stop over planning. Now, I love a well-defined plan more than anybody. If you ask people, my brand would be, yes, Uche is organized. She'll have a plan for days. She doesn't go off the beaten path. But in this instance, what I have come to realize is that with a well-defined plan, there are always unexpected opportunities. We typically develop a plan and we have blinders on. You know how when the horses are running a race, they have on blinders on so they can't see what the next horse is doing to them? That's what we have our blinders on, and it's like, nope, it says I got to do this, check, I got to check. And what I'm saying is that we don't leave any room for ourselves for any off-road opportunities. I love off-road opportunities because when you're working on a plan that has been developed, off-road opportunities often lead to stretch positions that will propel your career forward exponentially. Seen it, and I am a product of that. And the question is, do you have a plan? And are you allowing yourself to be flexible? Because when people are bringing up those special projects, are you allowing yourself to be open to see where they could potentially take you? And if you don't know, make sure you go to your community of experts, right? And get that feedback and information from them. I do that now. Someone just came and said, hey, Uche, I would like for you to work on this particular project. And do you know what I asked other people? And I said, hey, they want me to work on this, but this is where I'm trying to go. And they're like, it's an opportunity. It's just not a great opportunity for you. Right? Being obedient, I listened. I listened. Because for the first 10 years, I didn't listen to anybody. And this next 10, the 10 that I'm in now, because I have 20 years, this last 10, I listened. And you know what? As I continue to do this for the next 25, oh my gosh, that's a long time, because that means that I won't be able to retire at 10. I'm going to be obedient and listen, because they're the experts in their field, and they're my trusted advisors. So who's your trusted advisor? If you don't have one, look for them. And don't be afraid to ask, because here's the thing, and if you can attest to this, what I have realized is that people who have been in the industry for a long time, people who have become experts in their areas or just knowledge, when people go to them, they love to give information. In my experience, they want to tell you everything because they want to share. And especially during this time right now, we want to make sure we share as much as we can, because a lot of our baby boomers are retiring, and we are Gen X, millenniums, whatever you want to call. We are the next wave and generation of leaders, and we need you all to step up. So don't overplan. It's okay to be flexible. Yes, yes. I'm going to assume you guys are saying yes, yes, even if I can't see these comments. So, and as we are planning, we want to make sure that we have really big, audacious goals, right? So, how big is your goal, right? What goal do you have for yourself? And we hear this all the time. Make sure you plan your goals. Make sure you reach for the biggest, and and then once you get there, multiply it by 100. Look, it's real. Okay, here's an example. When I started Women Helping Women Succeed in STEM, true story, I started this last year. My goal was only to make, I think the first year I said, I'll be okay, I'll be happy if I only make maybe 5,000. And guess how much I made? Only 5,000. Think about if I had said 20, right? Or 100,000. So I limited my own self. I was my biggest obstacle. Have big goals. Because as they say, if you shoot for the moon and you fall, at least you'll be among stars. Give yourself those big goals, and be goal driven. All right, stay focused on it, and also too, perseverance. And we hear this. As an athlete, I ran track growing up, and you had to have perseverance, because you won or you lost a lot of races. I did the 100-yard dash, a 400-meter relay, 800-meter relay, and let me tell you, if you were not the first, second, third coming across that finish line, the rejection was strong. And to this day, I didn't realize this, but I see that now. The more rejection that we could handle, the stronger and more capable we were when that yes finally came our way. Because when we started winning, third place, second place, we trained differently. We trained differently. It was no longer 4th, 5th, and 6th place training. We were training for first place. And when that yes came, look out. And two things that I want you guys to make sure you write down, and I'll put this in the comment field, is that great people have two types of courage. The first one is they have the courage to get started without no guarantee of success. Can you imagine that? No guarantee of success. And the second one is once they're on their way, they develop the courage to endure, to not quit. Woo! I'm gonna give that to y'all for free, because when I thought that was just great, I thought that was just amazing. Oh, okay. So we have questions. All right. So, Brawley, someone asked, how far out do we plan? Are we talking about planning for what? Planning for what? When we talked about don't overplan, I say you should have 12 months. You should have a 12-month plan. Because why? And Umbrella, thanks for messaging me. That was great. Great, quick thinking on your feet. Here's why. Because your performance reviews, or let's just do from your career standpoint. Performance reviews are done in 12 months, right? So typically you should have every quarter. Every quarter your manager should be tagging up with you. If not, they should be checking in on you every week. But let's just say they do it every quarter. So that's 12 months, 4 times in a year. You should plan for the whole year. And at each quarter, you should have milestones or tasking or objectives of what you're trying to meet. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the project or the things you're working on need to be complete. Now, it could take you 12 months. It could take you 24 months. But the goal is that we want to show progress. So I recommend you plan for 24 months for your career, and then because you can readjust it as you see fit, right? And that way, when it's time for you to sit down with your leader or your manager, you're able to show within that 12-month period of your performance review what you've accomplished. Yes, yes? Did that answer the question? Let me know. I'm responding back to her. She's messaging me on Facebook. So, I'm sorry I can't see the comments, guys. I don't know what's going on. Okay, thank you. So, right. So you have the two types of people that, thank you. Yes, please keep forwarding me questions. This is interactive. So we have what type of people, and you know what's great about this is that when I use this all the time when I'm doing interviews, when they talk about, what are some of your, and this, I'm giving this to you for free. If you're interviewing for anything, they ask, what are some of the traits that you would use to describe yourself? And the answer is, I'm a person that perseveres. And here's why. Because we know that in order to persevere, and if you hire me, I'm going to have the courage to get this started. And here's what I'm going to give you. And you give them an idea of what your plan is. And then I won't quit, because you know why? I'm going to have the courage to endure. Because I understand that this project is important and this is critical, and that this is part of critical challenges that we're trying to solve within the organization. And you need someone who can persevere through, and someone who's going to meet and exceed where we're trying to go. And I am that person. Everything I'm giving you, use it in the interview. These are, and then you make it measurable and you make it meet to what you're interviewing for. Yes, yes? Okay. So we talked about persevering, and then we talked about believing in yourself. So, this is something that I just told people probably yesterday, because part of my coaching group, they asked us, why are we doing what we're doing? And this goes back to believing in yourself. So this is my story, real quick. Before, because of growing up when I was younger, I did not receive praise that I was smart. I did not receive Um, I did not receive praise that I was beautiful. I did not receive praise that I could change the world, because I can do that. So now instead, I encourage and empower women who are trying to succeed in STEM so that they can gain their confidence and they know that they can achieve whatever their heart desires. And my goal is to not just transform them on the outside, but to transform them on the inside so they can begin to believe in themselves. What I learned from that experience, once I finally admitted, me and Brayla talked about this, is that people, we doubt our beliefs, but we believe our doubts. Isn't that crazy? But what I love and come to understand more is that despite how crazy or insane that the goal may be of what we're trying to believe, of what we're trying to do, if we believe in ourselves, the world will believe in us. When Bill Gates and his partner goal was to have a computer in every household, if you remember back, you may not remember, that was in the 70s, a computer took up one dining room. And they were trying to miniaturize this so they can be in every household and affordable. But they believed in themselves. And this is very true. Believe in yourself and the world believe in you. No matter how insane that goal is. Because, one, you'll be gaining the expertise. You've already planted the seeds. People are going to give you opportunities to prove yourself right, right? We just talked about this. 2, you're going to be sticking with it no matter how hard it is. You're going to make sure you have that support system around you, right? Yes, yes. And you have the formula to success. So you're already ahead. Believe in yourself, because when no one else will, you will. And the last thing too is, I heard this a lot, is that, well, Uche, I don't see opportunities for me. I don't see where I can fit in. Be a job maker, not a job taker. Make your own opportunities. Make your own. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. And especially when an area that you're growing into, if someone gives you, all you need is a little bit of stretch, right? I was listening to someone speak. They were doing a one-on-one training, and they mentioned, it's like, yeah, our customer wants to get into model-based systems engineering. Guess who's a model-based systems engineering expert? And they said, make sure you tag up with us, because we don't have that skill set and we don't know what it is. This was like my first month at the new company. You know what I did? Set up a meeting with that individual and told them, this is what I can provide for you. They gave me all the information that their customer wanted. I had a debrief and said, this is where you need to go. This is what I recommend. And guess what? A year and a half later, they bring me in for sponsor meetings. I'm seen as the expert. Make your own opportunities. Because you know why? Because you get to pick and choose where you want to go. Because no one else can do that great thing that's yours. And don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to be the smartest one in the room. Create your own opportunities. And then you can drive. And then you will stand out. And in the shorter period of time, man, talk about the impact you're going to have. Because once that customer is happy, and when they're asking for you by name, again, talking about propelling and accelerating your career, you don't have to wait for opportunities, you create it. Yes, yes. And last but not least is to have the courage to succeed. Now, in honor of the last day of Women's History Month, I wanted to recognize Bessie Coleman, who was born in 1892, 27 years after Abraham Lincoln signed and slaves were free. What I thought was interesting was that she was the first African-American descendant to earn an international pilot's license. Can you imagine that? Oh my gosh. And she did that in France because the United States did not allow women or people of color to do that. And she thought outside the box. She had the courage to be successful. How many of us want to be like Bessie? Oh my gosh. So in honor of Miss History Month, I just wanted to bring that out because she did a lot of missions and she was amazing. And I just want to make sure that, as we go forward in everything that we do, that because I don't look at it as failure, doing the same thing, repeating it over again. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Okay, so any questions that you guys have for me? I'm looking for you. Yep, you're going to forward more questions. And here's my information, everybody, and that way you can contact me. I'm going to give you my email address, and also you can find me on Facebook at Anya Maple. So you have my yep, and you can find me there. And if you have any questions at all, let me know. I love this. This has been my mission life. One of my missions with founding women helping women succeed in STEM is that I want to make sure that we reduce the number of women leaving STEM and increase the number of women in C-level seats. Because I am tired of hearing that we don't have enough women, amazing, smart, and talented women to be vice president, senior director, CIO, CFO, CEO. And my mission is to reduce that and increase women securing a seat at their company's leadership table. So I'm going to, unless you have anything else for me, please be sure to contact me for any questions. And hold on. Okay, she got questions. Okay. Yes. Oh, repeat the equation? Yes. Okay. So do you see it in the comment field? Okay, and explain awakening again. No problem. So I'm going to repeat the equation again. And so the equation itself is the formula for success. And let me know if I'm answering this for what you're looking for, okay? So do you at least see it in the comment field of? All right, so I'm going to put the formula in there, and then I'm going to go through what it means, right? So here's the formula. Okay, so you see that. So you have P. P is for passion, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Looking through. Okay. So P is for passion, T is for talent, and A is for association, and the other A is for action. So what you do is you just identify what is your passion. What is it that you do for free? And for me, I said it's to serve. Is to serve and to help people. And the talent is something that I have that's natural in me, right? So yours could be that you're a great leader, you're a great organizer, you're a great project manager, you are a phenomenal. It could be a lot of other things, but you pair your passion with your talent, right? And that's the key. You pair those two. And then once you figure that out, you now are more strategic in who you need to associate with. So I knew I wanted to help people, and my talent is leading. I can lead. And I said, where do I need to go to be able to flourish in where I'm trying to go? And the first thing I started with was in my community was the Business Women's Network in my county. And I said, I want to meet other women who serve, who are leading, who are being impactful. And that's a great way for me to start. So I started with the Business Women's Network in Howard County. And then from there, because of that network, I got to meet entrepreneurs. I got to meet CEOs. And that's the association, and that's how I began to grow. And because of them, they were able to help me develop a plan of action. If you want to start your own nonprofit, Uche, this is what you need to do. If you want to be an entrepreneur, Uche, this is what you needed to do. And that was how I was able to get my success formula, because that's what success meant for me. Now you can start by saying, what does success mean for you, right? And you can fill that out like success means CEO, success means this, and you can work backwards either way. But the goal is to marry your passion with your talent. And once you figure that out, then you need to say, this is the people that I need to associate with. These are the groups I need to join. And then develop that action plan. And then that's successful. All right, so what does the awakening mean? The awakening means that when I finally identified that I got to give up certain things to reach my goal. And that's essentially what it is. That's all it is once you've identified, once you've done the formula and you've identified who you need to associate with, as an example, and the people you realize that you're associating with, not the people that's trying to grow. And I'm not talking about friends or family. It could be, I don't know. But they're not the ones that's going to help you be there, get there, right? And that's the awakening, because you're realizing you're having to shed some of the weight. You're going to have to shed some people, because what I realized is that when you're trying to go a particular place, everyone can't go with you. That's the awakening, because now you're more conscious, and now you're being held accountable because you are aware. You have awakening. You have become aware that where I am trying to go, I cannot continue to do the things that I have been doing. And you're going to have to make hard decisions and hard choices on removing things in your life that is preventing you from getting there. Yes, yes. Anything else? Okay. So again, please feel free to reach out to me at any point. And thank you. And please, Brayla, please let me know who gave the most comments so that I can send them and get their contact information so that I can send them a free PDF of my online course on how to elevate your career. And it hasn't come out yet, so you'll be getting the first copy. And I can't wait. All right. Everyone have a great evening. And please let me know and let Brayla know this was great for you. And that way we can get feedback and go from there. Thank you. Have a great evening. Bye.